Welcome to Science Plus. Step 1. Identify your Scientist Plus identity. Your personal and unique Scientist Plus identity is shared by trillions of people around the world, bolstering your empirical claims because people of the same tribe have to agree. Your Scientist Plus identity is very important because it is non-falsifiable, and can be changed at any time. What kind of Scientist Plus wants to take the risk of being wrong? Using subjectivity, you don't have to. The following are just some of the possibilities. Female. Your unique approach to Science Plus is probably more in tune with Mother Gaia. Other scientist. You identify as having the scientific skill sets of a mythological creature, such as the chemistry dragon. Scientist Plus of color. Your superior anti-colonial genetics allow you to escape from white constructs, like facts, and linear time. Twin-linked Scientist Plus. You feel that making a correct statement increases the accuracy of your next statements. Male. Why would you pick this one, you scumbag? I bet you voted for Trump. White. Okay, we're done here. How is this important? Here's an example. As a twin-linked Scientist Plus, I can state that I feel that way as a true statement. Then, using the power of my Scientist Plus identity, I can confidently tell you that glaciers are definitely female. Step 2. Observation. Now that you have your own unique collective identity, you can begin making observations. As a Scientist Plus with an identity, you can make observations that can't be identified or interacted with by anyone else. That's how you know they're true to your lived experience. Step 3. Gather data and do preliminary research. Good news, Scientist Plus. Thanks to your unique shared identities, we can remove this step. Your lived experiences and anecdotal evidence means you don't need background knowledge of a subject to make an equally valid assertion. And after the approved Science Plus procedure, you won't need to build knowledge to form a scientifically plus valid conclusion, either. Remember, basing our knowledge on too much empirical data is the sign of a bad Scientist Plus. Step 4. Hypothesis. Using the power of intuition, lived experience, or decolonizing one's mind, you are now ready to state the truth. The correct Scientific Plus hypothesis is a statement of your own personal reality, and what is true to you. In the next step, you'll have all the tools you need to scientifically plus prove it. Nobody else can tell you how the world you live in works, and it's not your job to educate them. Step 5. Test the hypothesis and gather evidence. When gathering data, make sure that the facts you collect agree with your initial assumption. Otherwise, the empirical data may imply that your hypothesis is false. But since empiricism is a tool of the cishet patriarchy, we must instead listen to, and believe, our own truths and lived experiences, and here's how. Make sure to always report on the parts of your data that agree with you, and pretend the other pieces of evidence simply don't exist. It's not a lie of omission if nobody knows about it. Next, take care to ignore context. For example, when male workplace deaths decline, the percentage of women to men dying on the job begins to even out. This is clearly a huge problem of workplace misogyny because the percentage of female deaths on the job has gone up, even though the net total has remained the same. But thanks to the power of intuition, you know how unsafe it is to be a female in a Western country in current year, so context or math do not matter. Step 6. Conclusion. Now that you have done the arduous labor of expressing your Scientist Plus identity, you are ready to repeat your initial assumption as fact. But hold on, as a Scientist Plus it is very important to allow less represented Scientists Plus to speak first. Before sharing your lived experiences as fact, ensure that your Scientist Plus identity is of a high quality and in demand. If it is not, your opinion is invalid because you have the wrong gender, skin color, or sexual orientation. These characteristics are so important because everybody is equal, and the more oppressed you are because of characteristics you can't change, the more equal you are. This equality level is directly proportional to the Scientific Plus accuracy of your facts and lived experiences. Step 7. Peer review and publish. You are now ready to submit your Scientific Plus academic report to your peers in the field. Namely, anybody who is not white or male. Through this extreme process of verification of facts, other Scientists Plus will rigorously look for any statement, claim, or piece of evidence that they deem too offensive to be true. Furthermore, it is also of critical importance for Scientists Plus with a less represented identity to read your report and override it with any random claim, assumption, or anecdote they may generate at any time. This is because, as in writing our Scientific Plus conclusion, Scientists Plus with less representation are more equal and are therefore more in tune with non-colonial anti-cishet patriarchal truths. Some verified Scientific Plus centers include Vice, BuzzFeed and Tumblr. Science Plus. It's science, without colonialism, without misogyny, without a doubt.